Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lair of the Film Exorcist, and welcome to my 21st birthday review. So yeah, I was born in 2000, and I'm surprised I've lasted this long, because I can definitely tell you my life hasn't been easy, and sadly, it's only just beginning. So I'd like to let out a big thank you to all my fans, friends, and family who have supported me throughout these years, for supporting my choices as a YouTuber. I'd also like to thank Silva and Opals for being my friends and helping me work on these reviews and doing a lot of the art for separate projects. Now tonight I will be reviewing My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. A young girl dies and is reincarnated into a video game. But when she finds out that her role is the villainess, destined for doom, she takes measures to change the game and avoid the fate. Now before we move on to my opinion, I'd like to just announce that this video is sponsored by Anime, so go buy yourself some amazing low-priced anime merch, including cute figurines to brighten up your collection, and every time you use the code FILM, you'll get 5% off your purchases, and you'll be helping out the channel. Now on to my opinion. Honestly, I walked into this anime thinking I was going to see a full-on Yuri anime between Katarina and Maria, but surprisingly, I was wrong this time. Because surprisingly, this show focuses more on the title, which is basically our protagonist trying to make her way through a video game, trying not to get the bad ending that could either kill her or get her banished. On top of that, Katarina is a great character because throughout most of the show, she acts terrified because she's played the game that she gets reincarnated into, and she knows most of the outcomes, which added to the much-needed self-aware aspect of her character. And unlike most of our usual isekai protagonists, she tries to be different, like how she prepares for the endings by learning to farm and fight, also doing everything in her power to make sure that the people around her are happy. I also love how, unlike most of today's isekai characters, she's not that special. I mean, the only advantage she really has is the knowledge she gained from her previous life. I mean, yeah, she has powers, but they're not that big of a deal in this series, really, the only thing that she shares with her fellow protagonists is her undeniable density. But that's about it. And I fear that if I say any more, I might ruin this great character. I also love how the show takes the time to establish its characters from a young age. Like one of the princes learning that they don't have to be jealous of their brother, because everybody's different, and everybody has weaknesses. Or Sophia, who obviously loves books, and because of Katarina, she comes out of her shell more, and we learn that she's a really sweet girl, just like the rest of Katarina's friends. And most of these changes are because Katarina helped them improve themselves, and they never end up becoming the characters that they were supposed to be in the game. Well, except for one, but that's a secret. Oh, and really, I'm happy with how the series ends, because they brought everything together and wrapped it up so nicely that I really don't care if they create a second season, because everyone's happy in the end, and we got the best ending they could create, which was basically the friend ending, where nobody gets hurt and nobody gets killed. And just as I was writing this, I learned that there is a second season coming out the summer of 2021, so I guess we'll see what they can do, and we'll see if they ruin the really great structure that they had for the first season. Or maybe they could improve it. It's honestly up in the air right now. Honestly, my fellow reviewer, Manime, Manime Matt actually went into the concept of how this series changed the isekai genre, and I suggest you go pay his channel a visit after you finish this video because he's right. This show took the stale parts of the isekai genre and basically fixed them. It fixed the side characters. We got a very enjoyable ending. The main character wasn't just this boring, overpowered leader that spends his life getting ready to fight a demon lord or sit in a city and spend his or her time going through dungeons. No, this series is the ultimate slice of life, harem, comedy, isekai, with a bit of magic sprinkled in there. And I loved it so much that I ended up finishing it within, I don't know, maybe 2 days, maybe less, because of how good it was. I'd also suggest you go watch Mother's Basement for his review of this series because he looks at it from the harem aspect, which is definitely a harem, but, this is definitely a harem, but it works because the series just doesn't throw boobs in your face like High School DxD does. Now, this series is very similar to Ouran High School Host Club, because it creates great characters that honestly anyone would be glad to see Katarina end up with. I personally am partial to Sophia and Katarina, or Maria and Katarina. Mary and Katarina. Maria I'm a bit iffy on. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, these characters just fit together so well, and actually, as Mother's Basement suggested, most of these characters could actually be paired off together pretty well. It doesn't just have to be everyone going after Katarina. Oh, and before I forget, I love the little strategy meetings that she has in her head, because it feels like a really interesting version of Inside Out. Except instead of emotions, we have the Council of Katarina, which is made up of 4 or 5 idiots that do their best to figure out how to get Katarina through life. And it's done in moderation, which makes it one of the best jokes in the series. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Now go watch this series because it's just so good that if you haven't seen it yet, I am definitely questioning your sanity right now. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the little notification bell, and we'll see you guys soon. And thank you for joining me on this birthday episode. We'll see you next year.